Hello everybody. Let's see if everything's working and then we'll start right away. Okay, seems like we're live. Okay, let's then jump right into Unity again. So we're beginning where we left off the last time, and it was when we did the collector and the cherry and the player. Let's start from going into the game and seeing what we need to change. So right now this cherry falls. It gets destroyed when it's on the collector on the ground, or when we walk up to it and we grab it by our box collider. But then we can also run off the map like this, and we would like to create some boundaries so our character will not run out of this area. So that's the first thing we want to do. So let's jump into the script, into the player script, and let's set a new public float, which would be public float boundary. We can basically just apply 1, as in we can just say 6, and then we will apply it both on +6 and -6 for the boundaries. So under the A movement, so when we're going left side, we have to check if we are not if you want to go left, the position of our character has to be greater than the negative amount of boundary. So end transform dot position dot x is greater than minus boundary. Okay, and then under D we want to do the same thing but the opposite. So we need to check if we are smaller than the boundary, and then we have to set the boundary in Unity. So let's go back to Unity over here. We can close this down, go to player, the boundary is here, we can just set 6 for example. I think it's the actual amount we need. And then let's see, we can move left and right, we can move up to here, and on the left side we can just go up to here as well. So up to the place where our cherries spawn. Oh, actually, yeah, cherries spawn. They don't spawn yet, so we need to create a system which will actually instantiate new cherries into the game. So let's create a new script up here. We can call it game manager, and we can also create a prefab out of this cherry. So let's jump into the cherry over here and just drag it over here. So we have a prefab in our cherry folder. Okay. So let's go back to the script. Scripts, game manager. Okay, so we need to set up a few things. First of all, we need a public float delay, which will say, you know, how much how many seconds we want to spawn a new object. And then we need a public game object. Okay, I have to reload my visual. Okay, game object cherry prefab, and also a private float delay elapse. Good. Okay, so in the start we don't really need to do anything. Yep, we can get rid of it. So in the update function we need to, oh, and also we should use the boundaries as well. So a public float boundary. Okay, so we need to randomly create a cherry and instantiate it every delay seconds. as in delay being a value over here. Oh, well, I just remind myself, give me a second. I haven't changed the name of the episode. Just quickly update it, and it should be back to good. Okay. Let me just see if it's updated. It should, okay. Okay, so in the update function, we're gonna first count down the delay. So we need to check if the delay elapsed is greater or equal delay. Then if yes, then we want to instantiate a cherry prefab, and in case no, we need to add the time.delta time to the delay elapsed, just as before in the previous games. So if the delay elapsed is greater or equal to delay, then we want to instantiate, and else then we want to add the time.delta time to delay elapsed. So delay elapsed plus equals time.delta time. Okay. So if this is true, then we want to instantiate the cherry prefab. So let's just write down instantiate, and then the object original. So wait, it's not the function we're going to use. It's going to be this one. Yeah, this one. So we need to first apply the object, which will be the cherry prefab. Then we need the position. So it will be the random on X and static on Y and Z. So let's create a new vector 3, and then we need to set a random between the minus boundary and the additive boundary. So random dot range between minus boundary and boundary. Okay, so this is our X. Our Y will be always the same, and let's just quickly check how much on the Y axis it should be. Let's just say it's gonna actually spawn on 10. It's gonna be okay. So let's just say 10, and then on the Z axis it's gonna be 0. Okay, so that's the vector 3, and then we also are going to do the quaternion dot identity. Okay, and that's basically it. In this case, if we instantiate, we also have to remove the delay elapsed, change the delay elapsed to be 0. Otherwise it would just keep spawning and spawning and spawning, because there is nothing to break this this true or this loop, to break the statement to false. Okay, so in this case we can add this game manager to, well, basically anything. I'm just gonna apply it to the environment, change the delay to like 1.5, add the cherry prefab, and set the boundaries to be 6. And let's see. Okay, so we're able to spawn these cherries over here. And they just keep spawning no matter what. Okay, that's good. Another thing we can do is to add Okay, so we've got the boundaries, we've got this. Okay, so next up, we're gonna actually create the point system. So let's jump into scripts and create a new C# script. We can name it points. Or actually, let's create it. I just want to name it differently. I'm just gonna name it point system. It's just gonna be a little bit more clear to me. Okay, so the point system is here. Then we're gonna create the static amount of points. So public static int, because we want an integer points. And also this will constantly update we will use this on our UI. So we have got the points. We will need to attach the points over here and there. So over here we need to subtract one player point, as you can see. So let's go to point system dot points minus minus. Okay, and then on the cherry, sorry, on the player, we have to add a player point. So point system dot points plus plus semicolon. Okay, and then let's just add a text and a canvas and a panel up here somewhere to display the amount of points we have. So let's go over here to the hierarchy, press UI, then we can just add a text, and let's show the canvas up here by double clicking it. Just want to move a bit closer. Okay, so the text is down here. I want to move it probably to my right bottom corner. Yep. It's gonna do this to apply the text on the right, and then this text has to be the best fit. Change the color to like to black. Yeah, that's gonna be black. And then we're just gonna say points double and then 0 0. Just at the beginning. I just want to quickly resize it a bit so it's a little bit bigger. And then over here you can see the anchor presets. I want this anchor to be in the right bottom corner. So no matter how big the screen is on somebody's computer, I just want it to be in the anchor to this side of the screen with this with these settings. Okay, now that I have this script here, I would like to change this text constantly so we can update the amount of points on the screen. So let's add the library using Unity engine.ui, because having this allows us to access all the UI stuff like the text. So let's create the void update function, and let's have our text up here, the reference to it. So the text public text point text points text actually. Then in the update function we have to say points text dot text, because we're accessing this particular text in our text component, equals, and then we're gonna say points tabula spacebar plus points. Okay, let's just see. So it should start saying 0. Oh yeah, we didn't apply it yet, so sure. Let's just apply it to we have it on the game manager. We can just apply it to the canvas, it's okay. So the points text has to be this text down here. Yep, and as you can see, it's going to work. If we lose a point, well, it's gonna work as well. If we go minus, it still works because this is an integer. It can go below 0, it's no problem. Okay. So we would like to have some sort of menu in the game as well before starting the game, and so we can always go back to it and quit the game if we want to. So let's just quickly create this. Let's go to scenes, which is over here. We have the sample scene over here, which is the base one. So we can just name it level, and we can create a new scene. Where's the scene? Over here, we can call it menu. Then remember to go to File, Build Settings, and add open. Sorry, not open, but just drag and drop here, and change the order. So the menu is at the index 0, and the level is at the index 1. Then we can just quickly load it up. We obviously want to save, and then we want to create some sort of canvas and a panel so we can actually do the menu. So we can just create a panel. I want it to be just full alpha. Change the source image to well, we should use just the basic one, so we can just go to none. It's gonna be like the full background. Then we would like to, well, probably just add some text and stuff. So under the panel, we're gonna add a text which is going to say that 2.5 is my name of the game, so 2.5D platformer. Just change the text over here. I did the best fit. It's easy to just align it then. Change the alignment of the horizontal and the vertical paragraph. Change the color. I want to go for maybe something closer to red as the main object here. I'm just going to change the anchor as well to the top, and I can then move it a bit to the top and resize it as well, since for me this is too small. I can also increase the max size of the best fit if I want to, like to 100. And this is what I like. Yep, it's going to be okay. Then we want to add 2 buttons, which is a start and the exit. So let's just do this right now. We can add either a button right away from the UI, or we can do, as I've shown before, we can just add a little panel. We can just resize it as well. And on top of this panel we can add a text, which is going to be start. So start like this, go green, align it to the middle, resize it a bit, and change it to make to the best fit, and increase the size of it. I'm gonna go 72. Okay, so this is our button right now. We can drag it up here. We can also change the colors and everything of it. I want it to be let's just say, like, since it has quite big alpha, a low alpha, we can actually just change it as much as we like. I'm gonna go with okay, this works for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go white and green. And on this panel we also want to add the component over here to be a button, and then on click we're gonna apply later, so we can just add one here and not do anything yet. So this is our start button. We can copy this, go drag it down, and we can say instead of start we can say exit, so exit button, and in text over here say exit. Change the color, change the whole paragraph settings and stuff if you want to. It's only up to you. And then it's gonna have this thing here, the button and the button component and the on click first here. But we need to create a script for it as well to work. So go to scripts, add a new script, menu control, open it up, reload if you need to, and we need to create two functions. So let's say public void start, sorry, not start, it has to be named differently, so a start button, and a public void exit button. So if you wanna start, we want to load the first level, which is the index 1. So in order to do that, we need to add a library which is which allows us to manage between scenes. So using Unity Engine.scene management, this allows us to load a scene. So a start button will load us up. So scene manager dot load scene, and then we place the index of it, or we can place a name of it as well, it works as well, but I want to just say 1 in my case, because the menu is always 0 and the first level is always 1. And then the exit button, this has to be an application.exit, no, quit, yeah, application.quit. This will allow us to leave the game. Okay, let's see. We have to drag this menu control on well, the canvas, for example, and then in the buttons we need to drag the canvas in over here into the on click, change the function to be a menu control, and this is the start button, so start button function, and the same thing on the exit button as well. So drag and drop, function, menu control, exit button. Okay, let's see if it works. Do we have the event? Yeah, we do have it. Okay, so we start the game, we have this menu over here, we can click start, and then we are loaded in. Okay, that's good. Yeah, this is it. So in the game we need to add an option to be able to pause the game and well, not pause the game, but like to be able to bring out an overlay which allows us to quit the game if we want to, instead of just doing an Alt F4 forcing shutdown of the game. Let's add we can actually just do it in the player. Now let's create a new script just for it. So C# script, overlay, open up, and we can also close this menu here and open up the level scene up here. Okay, so whenever the player presses escape button, we need to enable the game object, the canvas. That's basically all we need to do. So if input dot get key down, I don't see the hints because it didn't load properly. Get key down, key code dot escape. Then we want to, depending on if it's closed or open, well, open it or close it. So we need to create a boolean, private bool is open. At the start we always want it to be closed because, well, it's gonna be closed. Is open equals false. So whenever he presses escape button, he's going to if is open, it's going to close. So game object dot, so we have to create the assignment of it. So public game object overlay canvas, overlay canvas. Actually, I'm just gonna reload it quickly. It's really annoying for me. Get key down. Escape. Typos. So if it's open, then we'll to close it, right? So is open is gonna be false, and the overlay canvas enabled. Oh, sorry. Enable? No. Set active. Yeah. Set active is false, and then the opposite. So sorry. Else is open equals true. Overlay canvas set active true. So now we need to create this canvas and attach it into the script and add the script into the game. So overlay attached it to the environment, and then over here we need to add this overlay thing. So let's create a new oh, we can do it here probably. Yeah, we can just do it here. So UI, we can add a panel with a text on it, which will be, you know, a button basically. I'll just break this thing here for now. Change the size of it to be much smaller. Over here, attach this text on it. Move the text itself to the middle. Align everything you want. Just do the best fit probably. You can just say exit. Okay, just resize it and everything. I want this panel to have much more alpha. And then I would actually love to have some panel behind the points text, because it really seems to not be looking well enough. Increase the size of it. I'd actually just like to copy this. Was 80 point here 80.2. okay, so 80.2 height. Then you can just drag it a little bit. It's much better. And then the points text up to the middle. Align it to the middle. Then change this panel's alpha as well. And that's good. Okay, I like it. So now we have these two, and we can check if this is going to work. How about I attach it over here? We need to attach this panel over here. Oh, it was supposed to be off. So disable it up here. If you go to the panel, and then this button here will disable or enable this game object. So we can just turn it on and off, and then the points will still be working properly. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we can also add the slow, as in we can change the time scale of the game to pause the game during the menu, during the menu opened. So we can just type down if it's open, then we're closing it. So we're changing the time scale to 1. So time.timescale equals 1, because we want it to be back to 1, which is the normal. And then over here we want to have 0, so it's completely paused. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, this is paused. We can just try to move around, but we are not really doing anything besides turning around. We can turn this on. We can turn this off if we want to. Going to the player, and over here checking if we are if the timescale is greater than 0. So we can just do it. So private bool is paused, and then we can just at the beginning of the update every time we can just say if timescale is greater than 0, then is paused is false, because then it's not paused, and in other case is paused equals true. We can just get rid of these as well. Okay. Yeah, because if it's smaller or equal to 0, then it's going to be true. That's how. And then we need to go up here and allow to do these things only whenever the is paused is false. So is paused, but with an exclamation mark before. So if it's not paused, okay, and is not paused. Let's see. So we're moving around. This works. Now paused, and we cannot move around at all. So everything is just completely static right now. And when we unpause, we can just move around again. Perfect. So we have this basic pause menu. Okay, good. So timescale. We've got the points. We have the point system. Oh yeah, this button does not work yet, so we need to create the script for it. So we can actually just do it on the overlay, since it's on the environment here. Yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. So create a new public void function, exit button as well, and then just say application.quit. Okay. Basically go to this panel here, attach a button, on click, turn this environment into here, go to the function overlay, exit button. Okay, and this should be working just fine. You cannot really check it over here, but if you build this game, then you could see it over here if you go and build it. Okay, so we have the system built. We can change the speed a little bit. We have the points. Yeah, that's it for today. That's everything. That was rather quick. I was not expecting to go that smooth. But yeah, hope to see you next time. Next time we're just gonna add some more sounds to the game, so we can just make the game, much more enjoyable, and and hopefully, if we have enough time, to add a little additional game feature, let's say mechanic, maybe. We'll see. How about that? So see you next time. Hope you learned something, and yeah, keep programming. Goodbye.